The Northwoods of Minnesota is a land of extremes, and all you can really do sometimes is hunker down and enjoy the ride. We're here at our cabin, bracing for a day of wild weather, with a very powerful snowstorm and dangerously cold temperatures. So join us for a day and night in one of my favorite places on Earth. This is Tiny Cabin Life. It's winter here in the Northwoods of Minnesota, and we're gearing up for about 24 hours of wild weather. We're expecting a pretty substantial snowstorm accompanied by very high wind. And as the storm unfolds, it's going to get a lot colder, with temperatures dropping into the double digits below zero. And so I'm here to ride out the storm and experience the brutal cold at our cabin in the Chippewa National Forest. Well, it feels really good to be back up at the family cabin, especially for a snowstorm. This is one of my favorite places to take in any sort of weather because it's such a cozy atmosphere and the view out the window is 1 in a million. Now, we're not just going to be dealing with snow on this trip, but the bitter cold. We've had a couple of days of warmer weather, but today the temperature is dropping rapidly. And by the middle of the night, we're going to get down to about negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's some serious cold. And so we're going to have to make sure to keep the fire roaring and just try to keep this cabin as warm as possible. But you know what, that's kind of the fun of being up here. We get some real extremes here in the Northwoods, and I'm all about it. As the morning rolled on, the snow picked up, and the wind did as well. And before we knew it, it was absolute chaos outside. Oh man, I absolutely butchered this pancake. We didn't have enough oil, and so it stuck to the pan, and this is what I'm left with. Dear God, thank you for just another day to be alive. Help us to be safe and to have a great time. Amen. All right, let's give this pancake a shot. I give it a passing grade, maybe a C+. It tastes like a pancake, but it does not have any of the fluffiness that you look for with a good hot cake, so to speak. The bacon, on the other hand, is perfect. Perfect crispiness, tastes great, and is definitely making up for that disaster over there. You guys like the snow? These guys are maniacs, mainly Louie. Good girl, Ellie. That's a good girl. Well, we definitely have quite a storm on our hands here. Not only are we getting some snow, but the wind is whipping. It's blowing it sideways, and the tops of the trees are just swaying back and forth. But I figured we might as well get out for a little bit this morning. So we'll take a little walk here through the woods and then make our way down to the lake and just check things out a bit. So this right here is our giant white pine tree. I mean, it is absolutely massive. I mean, just take a look at this trunk. I can't even come close to wrapping my arms around it. It is so big. And this thing's really tall as well. It just towers over the property here, and you can see it for miles and miles. And this right here is one of my favorite spots on the property. Just a good old-fashioned bench in the middle of the woods. I love it. Love how protected we are here in the pines. You know, the tops of the trees take the brunt of the wind and kind of shield us down here. And they also really filter a lot of the snow out as well. Definitely makes for a nice spot to just sit back and take it all in. Here's another one of our giant white pines. I'm not sure which one's bigger, this one or the other one. I like to think the other one is, but this guy's a giant as well, and if it's not bigger, it's a close second. is so incredibly humbling to witness the power of nature like this. I mean, just seeing that wind whip the snow around on the ice and up into the trees. It really just shows how delicate our lives truly are and how precious they are. And it always makes me incredibly grateful to not only have a cabin like this to take shelter in, but just to have a roof over my head in general. You know, there are so many people around the world that don't have that basic need taken care of, and so it's something that I really try to take stock of and find gratitude for, because it's definitely not something to take for granted. Nothing like some hot cinnamon rolls on a very, very cold day. It is absolutely superb. I think I've tried to make these a couple of times in the wood stove because it's all I had, and it just didn't quite work out. Doing so in the oven was perfect. These taste amazing. Well, I thought I would try to shovel some of this snow off the deck, but underneath it, it's just pure ice. And I suppose that makes sense. You know, yesterday we had some warmer temperatures which melted some of the snow, and then now today we've got very, very cold temperatures. And I guess it turned a lot of that melted snow into ice. Not much I can do about it. Can't believe we're getting a fire in. I thought for sure the snow was gonna continue on until it got dark at least, but it let up just in time to get out here. However, it's getting real cold out here. As of now, it's 5 degrees, but in just a few hours, we're gonna dip down into the negatives. Just a crazy weather day.
After the sun went down, it was finally time to get some dinner going. One of the traditions that we always had with my dad is that we would eat pizza up here, and usually it was just frozen pizzas because it was easy to do and everyone was happy with that. But I figured tonight I would make my own pizza just to kind of spice things up a little bit.
God, thank you for this food. Thank you for a great day. Help us to stay warm and safe tonight. Amen. Well, this pizza looks absolutely incredible, and there's so much going on here as well. We've got pepperoni, Canadian bacon, multiple types of cheeses, sun-dried tomatoes, and pesto. That is so good. It not only tastes better when you make your own pizza, but it's a lot of fun too. I love doing this. Well, I've just been kind of sitting here going through our cabin log. This is a tradition that has been in our Stewart family cabins for decades. But this specific one starts in 2017. So it's about 8 years old. Anyway, it's about time for bed, but let's see what the temperature is. It's -3 outside, but overnight it's saying we're going to get to -11. I bet you it gets colder. It always seems to. But even if it stops there, that's pretty cold. So I guess with that, I'm going to get some sleep. I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. Good night. good morning. It is very, very cold outside. In fact, as I suspected, it got colder than I was thinking it was going to. It is currently -16. That is very, very cold. I've been through worse up here. I think I've been in -33 before, but -16's no joke. I did have to get up and stoke the fire a couple times in the middle of the night just to keep this place at a good temperature. But all in all, I got some great sleep.
Well, it certainly is brisk out here, but man, is it beautiful. We've got just a gorgeous sunrise happening. These are the mornings that I just love up here. Well, we're going to be taking off here very shortly, and there's a couple of chores that I always like to do before we leave, and that's to restock the firewood supply in there, which we have some good firewood already, but I like to make sure there's kindling as well. So we're going to split up a little bit of that, and then we'll make sure the old truck over there starts before we start cleaning up. I like making kindling out of this wood right here. All right, that's a good load of kindling. Now let's see if the truck will start. Oh yeah. All right, we're good to go. I'm just gonna pull this thing forward, let it warm up, and we'll go inside and pack out of the cabin. I think that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for coming along. I just love our family cabin. We have so many great memories here, and I love adding to them every single time we get up here. This trip was exactly what I needed. You know, we didn't get out into the backcountry or go on any huge hikes, but we're able to take in a very dramatic snowstorm from our cozy cabin here, and then watch the temperatures dip down well below zero. I love being able to witness the extremes that we get up here in the Northwoods. It's always a memorable experience, and I can't wait to do it again. As always, I want to give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel, but again, to all of you who watch, thank you so much. You're the reason we get to do this on a weekly basis, and I am so grateful for that. But with that, it's time for me to get home so I can see the girls. We'll see you next week. God bless.